Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. You are listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. Just wanted to check in here because the Toronto Raptors will officially begin their Summer League action. Their first game will be this Friday night. And joining me to cover the Toronto Raptors and also the rest of the league at NBA Summer League 2025 in Las Vegas is Libaan Osman. Libaan, bro, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. I'm excited, man. We both about to be out at Summer League. We're gonna be hit the casinos. No, I'm joking. I'm halal, guys. Come on.
That's right. That's right. Well, all Libaan does is just sit behind us and observe the action.
Yeah. I don't weigh in. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't recommend. I don't do nothing. I watch these guys lose money.
All right, it's not always losing. Sometimes it's gaining. There's probably just more losing than gaining. But nah, man, I'm really looking forward to it too. There's also such a big social component too about like you get to see a lot of people from around the league. You get to really make new connections. You know what I mean? And like for Libaan in particular, like I feel like every time I talk to you, I see the growth in your game. But like the way this guy's been connected to agents, the way this guy has been at the draft, at the combine, at summer league, like it's been great to see your growth, But today we're not talking about your growth. Today we're talking about the growth of these young guys on the Toronto Raptors summer league roster. I wanted to start with the rookies first and foremost, and then we'll go to the sophomores. The Raptors have a ton of players who you will see on their main roster also be in summer league. In fact, you basically have like the whole starters and the whole bench are guys that you're gonna know. Because remember 2 years ago at summer league, we went down there and we were watching Grady Dick and Marquise Noel, and that was it, bro. Like this is, in terms of summer league teams, this is a really good one for the Raps.
Yeah, and I think they shut down Grady after a few games, if I don't remember correctly. But
yeah, right.
So it was like he played, and then I'm like, who else am I here to watch? Now we got names. We got some dogs on this team.
Yeah, I was gonna say that summer league was sick too, because like we were just sitting in media row. And it was empty because it was Raptors Pistons. Nobody was watching no Raptors Pistons. All due respect to Asar Thompson, who was in that game. And then Messiah Bobby just came to chop it up with us, man. They legit sat right beside us. I knew you were a little nervous.
Yeah, that was my first summer league, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Me too, actually. But we broke the ice and we chopped it up for a whole quarter with them until Messiah had to move on and stuff. But
Messiah was funny too. You remember he was like yelling at the refs the whole game.
Oh yeah,
he was.
He was trying to get Moses Brown those calls. So this team is fortunately a lot better than that. We'll start with the rookies here because the Raptors are going to bring 3 rookies to the Summer League roster here. We're going to start with Collin Murray-Boyles, who was the 9th overall pick. Libaan Osman, what do you want to see from Collin Murray-Boyles? What are you hoping to see from him in the next 2 weeks here of Summer League?
I know he's probably, arguably, the best defender in this draft class.
Okay.
At his size, like obviously we see the Draymond comparisons. I don't want to talk about it like that because that's just too much expectations for a rookie coming in.
Okay.
But I already expect the defensive like versatility. I want to see the willingness to shoot. That's the biggest thing for me.
Okay.
I don't think he shot more than like he shot I think 3 triples like once all year this past season at South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I want him to be like, hey, like what's the leeway? Are you gonna experiment? I remember being at the combine and I put out a clip of him shooting, and I didn't think it was that bad. I'm like, this guy's shooting like maybe 50%. Yeah. It was like a star drill, and to my corner, like the Raptors are watching him, like they have a clear view of it, like diagonal. They're watching it, so they know the mechanics. They know whether this is fixable or not. And that's the biggest question for me. It's like at his size, at 6'7", can you shoot the basketball? And I don't care about the defense, to be honest, because I know it's already good. I know hands are amazing.
Yep.
I know he can switch multiple positions.
Yep.
But I want him to jack some shots up, man.
Okay.
I want him to shoot a lot. I want him to shoot a lot and just not even like think twice.
You know what? I think that would make everybody, the most excited is if Collin Murray-Boyles goes to Summer League, takes 5 threes a game, makes 2 of them out of those 5. People will be hype. You know what I mean? Because Summer League's like, okay, you draft a guy, you're always excited, then you got 2 weeks to sit with like the YouTube film, and then you see that for real in game action. And I think that, the one thing that was really unfortunate with Collin was that there was that one Draft Express video from Jonathan Giovoni where it's been shared, it's been memed, and it's him shooting and missing a lot of shots from the corner. Yeah. But I'm actually happy because that's probably the same drill you watched. But you're probably saying he made more than 50% or roughly 50%.
I pulled up probably a bit after that, and I caught him doing like a drill right after. And I posted that clip, and people were still like making fun of his shot, and I was like, I posted this not thinking he shot it that bad, to be honest. So I'm like, I do think it's fixable. I do think it's like he has touch. So I'm not like too concerned. Like I don't think it's like this guy is not he can't become a shooter. Right. But I want him to like not be afraid. That's my biggest thing, especially because like that's not his game right now. He's not gonna. Yeah. I want him to shoot 0 for 5. Go shoot 0 for 5. Yeah, you know what? And not even think about it.
Yeah, well, I want 2 for 5. You know, I don't care, man. I don't want to see no 0 for 5, even in summer league. But I think for me, like, I want to see if the finishing needs to be adjusted from college to pros, because one of the things the Raptors had last year was when the Raptors took Jonathan Mogbo, right? And totally different, you know, situations because Mogbo had already played, I think, 4 or 5 years in college, and he was coming from a much weaker conference than the SEC. And Collin's obviously just a sophomore. But in college, when you saw Jonathan Mogbo, he was dunking everything, he was finishing everything on the short roll, and you're like, this guy's living above the rim, he's finishing great. And then when he came to summer league, even I'm like, wait, hold on. He's not really good at layups. He's not really good at finishing in the in-between game. You know, that push shot, the Jakob, he doesn't have that kind of stuff. And then that actually translated to one of the challenges that he had in this season. The main thing the Raptors wanted to work with Jonathan about, I guess we'll talk about it later because he's playing too, but Jonathan just really needed to like play with force, and he needed to sort of like actually finish. And that's the thing with Collin is like, I know the defense is a guarantee for me. I understand that the jumper is like a nice to have, but in addition to the 3-point shot is I need to see Collin be as effective finishing on drives around the basket, bully ball, whatever you need. I need to see that even in summer league, because there is a tangible difference between playing guys who are like 6'10 centers versus now playing 7 foot and above centers, and obviously real grown men. But I'm pretty excited to see CMB in general. I think that, you know, for a lot of Raptor fans, this is the number one player to see. If you were Darko, would you start him right away?
Yes, 100%. Okay. My question is like, what position do you slot him in?
Well, because that's a good question, because I don't really want to see him playing in a 2-man lineup with him and Jonathan Mogbo, or like him and Ulrich Chomche. Like the spacing does get kind of tight almost immediately. But at the same time, with all due respect to all the other guys we're talking about, he's the one that the Raptors invested the most in, right? And so I would try as much as possible to make him look comfortable and also challenge him and feature him even above all the other priorities on this roster. But if I had to guess, I think they'll probably put him and Mogbo in a 4-5 together, Chomche coming off the bench as that 5. Okay. But you never know.
I wonder if they be like, you know what, you're a rookie, man, you got to come off the bench type of thing and then earn his way, because he like Jacoby might get shut down, I feel like, later on, and then he'll eventually start. I'd hope. Yeah. So but I'm excited. He's by far like the best interview, so I think we're all gonna really enjoy just chatting with him, getting to know him. Like every single time I saw this guy, he's wearing a suit. Like every single time. So like he's coming professional. So I think a lot of this sell was like, I think the Raptors just like the character in him too. So yeah.
I like that. Okay. I'm excited to get to know Collin Murray-Boyles as well. The Raptors, by the way, will be announcing both Collin Murray-Boyles and Elijah Martin, and I guess Chucky Hepburn as well, all in a summer league setting. So look out for the interviews. I would probably guess Thursday or Friday. If I had to guess, probably Friday. Next one, speaking of Elijah Martin, I'm actually really excited about Alijah, just in general. The more you watch the tape of him, the more you see, like, all his highlights look good. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always just dunking on somebody or shooting a really deep 3. And my thing is, like, because he's already been such a winning player, he's coming off of winning the national championship with Florida. Before that, he went to the Final Four with Florida Atlantic. He's already 22, I believe. And so I want to see how much his game is immediately translatable to an NBA type of setting. What are you looking for from Elijah Martin?
I want to see if the shooting is like a long-term, like is he a streaky shooter? That's my question too. It's like, is this guy, I'll be honest, a lot of this with the Raptors prospects, this rookie class is going to be shooting. I'll be honest. I'm going through the list.
That's
I'm
the
like,
whole team, bro. What do you
can
mean,
this guy hit a shot? That's like from 3 consistently. That's a lot of what, I'll be honest, what my analysis is going to be for a lot of these guys. Alijah, I want to know if he can attack the closeout the same way he did in college. Like he was, if we're talking about a guy that can, like at his size, 6'2", he attacks the rim like he has rent due. Like it's insane. Like so he's a guy that
he's the landlord.
He's the landlord.
You know what?
So
I have to try that.
So I want to see whether or not if the athleticism translates to the NBA level. I think it is. 6'2" is kind of tough, but I also kind of wonder, like at his size, like they talk about. I think was it Bobby or was it Dan?
It was Dan. I remember asking him. I'm like, you see a lot of defensive potential, and I think he brought up that he could see Alijah guarding 1 through 3.
I don't know about that, to be honest. 3 to me is kind of like a stretch, depending on like who's the 3.
Yeah, sure.
I just wonder, like at his size, like will guys just shoot over him? That's my biggest question too. So if he's, that's my biggest question too. Is like, can he guard like 1, 2, 3? That's my question too. I just want to figure out if he has that actual positional size as a defender, because I'm not quite sure yet. That's my.
The one thing that's come up in my research into Alijah, because I'm hoping to interview him and get like a chance to talk to him one-on-one. But the one thing that I saw with Alijah too is just like when he was playing, not for Florida, because Florida is like stacked with talent, right? Like literally like one of the best programs in college basketball. They won it all last year. But when he was playing with Florida Atlantic, like it was almost similar to like when Kyle Lowry played at Villanova, where they would have like 3 point guards at once. So I think that time was like Kyle and like Randy Foy and like somebody else. And Kyle had to play like a little bit of small forward, quote unquote. Alijah even, I thought at times, played small forward / power forward for those teams. Now, granted, that's college, right? So like whatever, it's cute that you do this in college. Can you do that in the pros? My only thing is he's got the physicality for it, first and foremost. Like this guy obviously played football. He has that type of body anyway. He's already 220 or like 210. You know what I mean? Like he's already a big physically developed guy already. And then the wingspan, he is 6'8" with the wingspan, only 6'2" in height. Basically, in terms of the shape and like the type of body you're expecting, it's probably like an Eric Bledsoe, right? That's like, again, not even necessarily the type of game, but even just the type of body. And by the way, Eric Bledsoe, like he was a really good player for a long time, and if Alijah could have a career like Eric Bledsoe, I think people would be pretty thrilled. So I'm actually really excited to get to know Alijah. Seems really confident too as a speaker, as like a personality. He's a nice swagger about him. I'm excited to see him. He's probably for me coming off the bench. I mean, you already have Shead and Jacoby, so I'm seeing him off the bench. But again, I'm sure these guys will all get their turn to shine. Chucky Hepburn, what have you learned from Chucky Hepburn, man? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the one guy that I haven't really dug that deep into, and so I guess I'm not really expecting all that much really at first from Chucky.
I watched actually a few of his games in the ACC this past year at Louisville, and every single time I tune in, it's like this guy's a firecracker. Like he can get hot, microwave. That's kind of how I describe him at points. I think he had a game against Pitt where he just like wasn't missing. Like it was insane. Had a really good like tournament run too. I think played well against Duke in the ACC championship game. My thing with him is that I don't know like what. I honestly would love to see him and Jamal Shead. I know obviously they're gonna be playing. He's gonna be backing up Shead, but I kind of want to see like how he is like an off-ball guy with Shead. I would love to see like some minutes there with those guys, because I think he's a solid off-ball guy. Like he knows how to move, just the converting the 3-point shot, streaky shooter. That's what he kind of is. That's kind of how I see him right now. And I wonder too, but you kind of see it like he was also defensive player of the year in the ACC.
I was gonna say that's the I think he led the conference in steals.
Yeah, 2.4.
And like he just like he doesn't necessarily clamp people. But like he understands positioning, and it's not just like 2.4 off of gambles. Like he has a great sense of how to read the game. I think that's actually the one trait you see shared between CMB, Alijah Martin, and Chucky Hepburn, is that they're all very willing defenders, and they all have a mind for how to defend.
Great hands too. I think like he just knows like you can't put the ball down near him. I think he's very his hands are great, and I think just. Like we talk about dogs, and I think the Raptors kind of have a tight man. We talk about Alijah Martin 6'2". We talk about Chucky Hepburn 6'2", and these guys are both like 220, like 210, like around that range. So it seems like I don't know what's going on with Dan and Bobby. They got a type. They got a type, man. They're scrolling through Hinge and they're looking for a 210 guy. It seems like.
Yo, man, who is not looking for 210, 6'2" guys on Hinge, bro? Like, come on, man. That is a bit of a cheat code. No, hit me up too, by the way. I'm that size. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't do that, please. I'm not even on there. But no, I think the funny thing what you mentioned with Chucky is like Alijah is like, I think there's probably an ambition to see more of what he can do on the ball, because he did primarily play off the ball. Obviously, Walter Clayton Jr., who went in the first round to Utah. Yeah. He was like their primary guy. If anyone watched Florida down the stretch, like it was him, right? Alijah kind of played off of him. I think that even hearing from Alijah on draft night and also hearing from Dan in the front office, I think that they probably want to see maybe there's a little bit more to be discovered in Alijah playing on the ball. And I think with Chucky, as you mentioned, like, is how much can he succeed off the ball? Because I do think that, like, even though both of these guys probably will be signed to two-way contracts, if I had to guess. Yeah. By the way, Alijah is not officially signed yet, so hopefully, like, they can do that in the next 2 days, please, because otherwise he can't play Summer League. But like, I'm hoping to see more on ball with Alijah, because I actually do think they have, you know, more invested in him. I mean, it goes without saying, he was the 39th pick. So
I'm just worried about Elijah's like ball handling. That's the thing. I don't think he really has like that. Like, it's very simple. Obviously, in the NBA, I think at times like people complicate it. You don't have to be like some like ball don't stop type of handle, tween hezzy. You know, like you don't have to be that kind of guy. But like, I do think like the handle is what kind of like scares me with him in terms of like, that's why I kind of see him as this like at best 6'2", like 3 and D type of guy. Like if the 3 is actually there type of thing.
Can he be like a Marcus Smart type then?
I could see that. I've seen people compare him. Like I was talking to scouts at the combine. They were telling me like Jose Alvarado. That's kind of like a
Jose Alvarado. Okay.
Or was that? Hepburn is the comparison for that.
Yeah, because Chucky is smaller than Alijah. Yeah. Like it's a notable. There's even though there's
Elijah's kind of big too. Like he's like
got like the Popeye arms.
Yeah, man. He's got the little Lou Dort little arms. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's I don't know what his comparison would be. Honest, he's 6'2", like that size. Yeah. It's tough, especially. I don't know, his kind of, especially the way he attacks closeouts is like what makes me think that he can thrive in the NBA.
Right. By the way, Elijah's going to be dunking the hell out of the ball, too.
Yeah. I'm saying, we got dogs, man. We got dogs on this. I can't wait for, like, Jamal. I can't wait for Jamal, like, Alijah look at each other, Colin Murray Boyles after a block. Ulrich Chomche, everyone's just like, you know, they're going to go, hey, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit.
They're going to be barking a lot, but can someone hit a 3, please? Right. Let's go to the sophomores then, because I'm actually really excited to see the progress made. I mean, last year, we saw way more of these guys play than we really expected, right? Because, like, you know, the Raps were in a tanking situation. They put a lot of minutes on these guys. So we got a chance to see a lot of their progress. The one thing is, I know that they have been working out around the clock together, whether that's in Toronto, whether that's in, in Houston, where Jamal Shead actually led a whole bunch of the rookies from last year to work out together down there. Like, these guys have been around together a lot. And so I'm hoping to see not just their growth individually, but their growth as a unit, because I actually think that these guys are going to share the floor a lot, even coming up this following season. We'll start with Jamal Shead, who's kind of like the leader of the group. For me, I want to see similar to like what Fred VanVleet did for the Summer League team in his second year. That 2017 Summer League, Raptors had Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, DeLon Wright. And of course, when you say those names now, you're like, whoa, that team should obviously run things. But at that time, Jakob Poeltl's in that group too. Like at that time, we weren't really expecting them all to be so great. But in that Summer League, it was the first time I saw like, whoa, like these guys are not only playing together, but they're winning together and they're really running the show. I want to see that leadership for Jamal Shead. I don't even care how much he scores. I don't care how many stats he puts up. I want to see him run a tight ship. You spent this much time around these guys. You have this much continuity. You have that much experience already from college. Go out there and show that you're too good for Summer League. And the way he should do that is not by scoring 20, is just by running a good show like a good point guard should.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's were they working on in Texas, Austin? Like, where was it?
Well, it was in Houston because, you know, he's University of Houston. Like, he brought some of the guys down to work out with them, which is great leadership, especially for a second-year player, man.
Yeah, and you just hear, like, everybody in the organization just raves about him. Like, he's just, man, a steal. Honestly, I think it's insane that he was there for the Raptors in the second round. And I exactly. I just want him to be a guy that I don't care about how many points you score. I do, like I said with everybody else, I want to see you hit the shot consistently. I kind of want Jamal. I want 2 threes. Jamal, give me 2 threes. Just give 2 threes in summer league.
But he already showed us towards the end of last season you could hit threes, man.
But it's just I feel like it's inconsistent. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay.
So but I'm not worried. I just want to get guys involved. I want you to show me like get Ulrich Chomche involved. I want Ulrich to like be able to. I feel like they recently just spoke about him. I think it was Bobby or Dan. Dan, I think, spoke about him recently, just about understanding concepts, that kind of stuff. I want Jamal Shead to make his job easy. That's kind of how I see it. So, and yeah, like we talk about, I think Jamal Shead and like Jacoby are like best friends. And just so like a lot of these guys, Jamison battle, like we'll probably talk about him in a second. But yeah, I think right now we just want leadership, and I think he showed it. It's not something that I'm like I don't think he's not going to be able to do.
Right.
But yeah, I just think, and I'm thinking too, like what I want to see less from him too is just like be able to be in control. I think he fouled a lot last season. Like that was kind
start
of
of the season. He was fouling a lot, and he also had a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
So cutting down again, that's all goes to like being a good point guard, right?
Yeah. I remember him also saying like he was going to be working out with Alex Caruso, and Alex Caruso fouls a lot. So I'll give him credit. You know what? I'll give him credit. Or you know what they say too. I was listening to a podcast recently. They're saying like if you like in the first like year of like being a rookie or your first few years, you play this aggressive style of play where you're kind of fouling all the time, like Caruso does in NBA Finals. You kind of get away with it for your entire career. So maybe Jamal Shead will start to get away with it, being known as this defensive guy, this guru, and then get away with the stuff that Caruso does. So
no, listen, I just want a good point guard, man. We saw a great point guard in Toronto for so many years, Kyle Lowry. Like just everything Kyle did, whether that's take charges, whether that's take moving screens, whether that's takes a momentum building 3 or making any random big look good, like the way Kyle used to do with like, bro, Kyle used to run pick and rolls with like, anybody, man. He would be good with anybody. Like, I want to see those qualities because I really do believe Jamal has so many of the similar qualities. Jacoby Walter, this is what I want from Jacoby. Get in your bag, lead this team in scoring.
yeah.
And I don't. It doesn't have to be like 25, 30 points because like summer league games are shorter. There's no warm up. Like whatever. Like it's weird, right? It's not a regular game. But go out there, get end a shot clock. Go 2 plays. Like I want to see Coach James Wade, who's the assistant, who's gonna be the head coach for summer league. Give Jacoby some of those plays where he can showcase like his one-on-one scoring ability and just his overall like ability to read the game. I want to see him as that like scorer for this team.
Yeah, so you want the tween Hezzy, huh?
I mean, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, man. But you know what I mean? He also has like the up fake jump into the defender.
He's good.
Because if Jamal's going to be Fred, I need Jacoby to be DeMar.
Yeah. I do think everybody in the league knows that now, though, because I remember being – I don't know if I told you this, but like I remember being in an Orlando Magic like locker room, and like you could see like before the game.
What were you doing in there, man? Caleb Houston.
Caleb Houston is one of the Canadian
Corey
guys
Joseph. You talking to Corey Joseph?
I was waiting for them, and
sick,
on their screen, they have like a scouting report for the game, right? And Jacoby is like, this guy pump fakes every single time. That's basically what this scouting report was for him. So I want to see something else other than just like drawing the foul. I want to see you get to the rim and like finish, not just like. But because we don't want to see a free throw show. We don't see a Shea Gill. Just shout out to Shea. He deserves it though. He deserves all those calls.
I want to see Shea. I don't care.
But I also want to see. I think his handle was kind of like the biggest issue, and like I think why NBA teams like. I think that's kind of why he fell so far to the Raptors at 19. So I kind of want to see like the handle. I want to see if it's improved, and can you do something more than just attack closeout. Like I want to see you. I want to handle the ball and pick and roll maybe. Like have a little action, see what you can do, play make out of it, or look for your own shot. I want to see just more of like an offensive bag where you're the guy. Like this is your team. You're running it. You're the best player on this team, and you can show that. So I want to see that from Jacoby.
Yeah, Jacoby. I'm very optimistic, but I agree with you. Like, cause I already think that he can do essentially what Ochai did for the Raps last year. I think like within 2 years, he's definitely at that level. But it's a totally different thing to be a role player than be a guy who actually drives some of the action. Yeah. Like Jacoby, even if it doesn't work out, like just try as much as possible to create your own offense in this one. Because I really think that there's a big future. And the front office, I mean, the way I've heard...
I love him.
Bro, the way I've heard Dan and Bobby talk about Jacoby, like, you would have thought we had Ray Allen himself. So I'm not even kidding. Jonathan Mogbo, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. But you know what's interesting is because I think for me, more than anything else, he's the one that probably should feel a little bit of pressure. And And the reason I say that is because CMB is about to eat all his minutes if CMB is supposed to be who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So if I'm Jonathan, I gotta be like, okay,
Who you starting in summer league?
I think you
If you had
probably
to
will
choose.
start. You probably would start both of these guys.
Both? Okay.
Because we don't really have a lot of wing types.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot of
Uh-huh.
wings. Like we're gonna have small point guards, and so like I don't mind starting two bigs, but
Yeah.
for Jonathan, it's just like that three ball. I know he's
Yeah.
been working a lot on it. He made good progress over the course of the year, but that three ball has to be ready, or that finishing around the basket has to be guaranteed, consistent all the time.
Yeah.
That ball handling, that defense, I think those were already strong points, and I think that's fine for him. But if I'm him, I'm looking at CMB like, listen, you're my teammate, but I gotta own you, rookie. I gotta like come at you every single play. I'm like 2-3 years older than him too, right? Like, cause you know what I mean. Like that's also a gap, even though there's only 1 year of NBA experience gap. And I feel like if Jonathan doesn't do that, then I would be really worried about Jonathan's long term career. But right now in this summer league, he needs to try to compete with CMB at every minute, practices and also in the game.
Yeah, I would say, to me, I just am not sure if the shot's ever gonna come. That's kind of my thing. So that's why I kind of see him as kind of like the odd man out if it doesn't pan out. And yes, CMB, man, I'll be looking at I'll be, if I'm coming into summer league, be like, these guys drafted somebody to take my position. I'll be looking at like, this is time to eat, man. And I like, that's kind of how I would look at it. But I feel like Jonathan Mogbo's game is kind of just like self-explanatory. Like he just needs to figure out the little things, right? Finishing around the rim, like you touched on, the shooting. I do think like he knows just how to play the right way.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a selfish player. The thing is too is like I think the Raptors front office is trying to put him in a much more difficult situation because in college he played as a big, small ball big, right? Honestly, maybe similar to CMB, but the issue is the Raps want to see him play like a wing, and if you got to be a wing, you need to have the handle, you need to have the jumper, you need to have that ability to drive and slash, and just create a little bit off the. Right now, the step number one needs to be. You got to shoot well enough that people close out. Because number one, you got to make shots. If you make shots, people close out. Then you got to build the clock to close out. At that point, beyond that, I think I'll be pretty happy with that. But they're asking him to do the hardest thing, which is to be a small ball big, but also be a wing. And again, because as a small ball big, I take CMB more over him. CMB has a bigger body, has more of an ability to create for his own offense. Like it's not just rolls and dunks. Like. So again, if I'm Jonathan, if CMB's at breakfast, I gotta beat him. I gotta beat him to breakfast. You know what I mean? Like I gotta beat him at every single drill, because otherwise,
it's make or break now. Especially like the Raptors are gonna be like actually trying to win games, and you probably won't see the floor unless you can do those things that we talked about. So
yeah. Well, I mean, he'll still be on the roster. It's just like like you
spend a lot of time. The
minutes can be competitive. Yeah. Because the forward minutes are lower this year too with Brandon coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not like, oh, we're going to rest Kelly Olynyk. Like, nah. Like, those are gone. Speaking of which, Ulrich Chomche, listen, I'm not ever going to be expecting too much for Ulrich because I know what it is, right? You take a flyer on a guy, someone who's so young. I think he was the youngest player in last year's draft. And you already know that his tape is raw. His game is raw. Even I watched the G League last year when he played. He was mostly raw, although he got better over the course of the year, which is great, until he got hurt, which was bad. I just want to go in with no expectations and be pleasantly surprised. But what I don't want to see is just the same thing of like he picks up 5 fouls in 6 minutes, which sometimes what happened last year, both in Summer League and in the G League format. What do you want to see from Ulrich?
I'm just wondering. I don't want to say it would be a bad joke. He's still 2 years away from being 2 years away. I think that's kind of like when I saw him get drafted by the Raptors. Funny thing is, I watched him play at the Hoop Summit like a few months before the Raptors drafted him. I'm like, he's not even close to ready to play in the NBA. So I'm kind of looking at him like this is going to be your first year in the NBA. Sure. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like he's adjusting to everything, the culture, everything, like understanding sets, like language, everything like that. Like.
How to live, how to be a pro.
How to be a pro. The Raptors have talked about this. Like that's kind of.
I asked Darko. I'm like, yo, what do you want to see from Ulrich this year? And he was like, the develop life habits.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, yo, I want to see you shoot a three or like improve your left hand or rebound the ball better. He was like, you got to learn how to like be a pro. How to get to practice on time, what you're eating, taking care of your body. Like the way the Raptors looked at last year for Ulrich was basically like that's like his freshman year in college, except he spent it in a G League setting rather than at a university.
Yeah. So my thing for him is like, I want to see if his feel for the game is a lot better than last year. Is he not just like running around and like with his head cut off, like not knowing what's going on type of thing, is he making right decisions where he's understanding like play calls? Like I remember, I don't know if you talked about this, like Jamal and them, like it seemed like a lot of like educating and coaching him right at Summer League last year.
It was.
Now it's like, okay, can you do all this stuff without getting instructed to? And it takes time. Like he's like we said, like the youngest prospect from last year's draft. Like
he's basically a rookie, even though we're talking about the sophomore class. Like he's basically a rookie to me.
Yeah. So I just want him to see if the game gets slower for him. That's my biggest thing.
Because he's like a lottery ticket, right? Because like you don't have to explain any of the physical stuff. The guy is so fluid for a guy who's 6'10", 6'11". His body's strong already, even though he's 19 years old. Again, he runs, he's fluid, he jumps easily, like his second jump is easy. These are all skills you cannot teach. He's got to learn how to play ball, though.
What I would love to see is I think he's a very underrated passer. Like he throws some darts. So
he had some darts. For sure.
I would hope the Raptors, like in some of this Darko system, like have him control the ball where he can find cutters like a Jacoby cutting or whatever it is. Like maybe like just have something where you can like have him in a playmaking role, and like have the ball in his hands where he's involved. Because I feel like at times in the G League, I watched some games and I think some teammates were looking him off, being like, I don't know if we're taking this serious, but so I want
definitely true.
I hope the plan for him. I hope they have a plan for him in the summer league, just like to get him very involved and counting on Jamal Shead, like we said earlier, like Jamal Shead to be the guy that kind of helps him along in this journey. So
yeah, I know it sounds like we're down on him. I think it's just like I want to set expectations reasonable for Ulrich, because like even you compare him to like Elijah Martin, who they just brought in. Elijah's like 22, 23 already. Like Ulrich is 19, man.
Yeah.
Like
and
that's
sad.
It's huge. There's a huge gulf in difference right now.
Yeah, and it's sad because like the injury, I feel like messed up everything. He would have probably got playing time with the Raptors, like without.
Low key, that was the Raptors' secret bullet when it comes, like silver bullet when it comes to like let's try to tank it on the stretch. They were about to play him a ton, man.
And I don't know if we'll see that this year. If he'll play, if they're actually trying to compete, right?
I mean, hopefully we don't see that because hopefully we're a good team. Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Not to make any jokes, but like if you want to know what Saga feels like at nighttime, Ulrich is gonna be there. But I think he's gonna be like, it's still take your time. Like take your time. Don't expect too much. But I'm excited for him because like the defensive highs are highs. Like the blocks are blocks.
That's what I'm saying.
So
you know, like that type of shot blocking, that type of fluidity, you're not seeing that very often, and that's why the Raptors take this gamble. I still think it's going to be a 2-year outlook in terms of I don't want to judge anything until after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But you know, the way the NBA moves, like 2 seasons is a lifetime. You know, sometimes you got to produce even in 2 seasons, even if the expectations are low. But that's why I'm excited to see him though, because I just haven't seen enough of him, especially at this level with his teammates.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I'm worried about is like he gets the team that gets the best version of himself is not the Raptors, and it's the team that signs him afterwards. That's kind of like what I'm worried about. Like, okay, the Raptors like, you know what, we did all this, we got to move on now, and then the next team actually gets like Ulrich's like best potential. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Well, that's why we took him early, man. We drafted him really early on. Last sophomore to talk about, Jamison battle. I mean, look, we already know the great thing with Jamison is we already know what he can do. This guy already bangs in threes. Like he was the breakout guy last year in summer league because we were all looking at the roster like this guy got a crazy name, Jamison Battle. Never seen a name like this. And then he was just all he did was knock down threes. He came off that bench, didn't complain. Earned himself a training camp invite, made the team out of training camp on a 2-way, got converted to, like, it's like he was one of the big success stories of last year. He shot 40% as a rookie from 3. Those are all great. We all know, even just while watching warm-ups, this guy's automatic. But the one thing is, can you do it just a little bit more? Can you be a little bit more than a shooter? And honestly, if he can be, then I'd be really excited. To be honest, I'm picking up his options no matter what. Like, I'm guaranteeing his contract. This guy shoots 40%.
Isn't that today? We're filming on like I feel like it's guaranteed. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's fully guaranteed or something. Like contract was supposed to be announced today. But he's so. I'll say this: someone I spoke to within the Raptors told me like he's in the gym the most, like by far out of any of the rookies. Like he's the guy in the gym getting up shots or whatever. And not to say like any other guy's not in the gym. I think guys are as much in the gym, but like who's getting up the most shots is Jamison Battle because he has a lot to prove.
Life, man. All he does is shoot corner threes in the gym with the left hand.
Yeah, so the shot, I think we all know he's a prolific shooter. I think it's just can you attack the closeout, and when teams run at you, run off you from the line, it's like what can you do from there? Can you play make? Can you get to the rim and convert there? So yeah, it's just like showing that extra like development, right? From just like not being just a shooter. What we've seen from the Raptors, well, they'll get this guy that's just a specialist, and then from there it's like we'll try to figure out if he can do something else, but most times they can't. So we gotta hope that the work is working on.
Well, because the thing is, okay, we already know he could be a standstill knockdown shooter, right? It's totally different, man. You ask me to park in the corner and someone creates the whole play. I got to knock down an open three. I can do that for you.
How much you get it? How much you giving us?
Easy, bro. Easy, 33%, man. 1 and 3. I'll cash 1 and 3. I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
But it's a totally different thing to be like, yo, Will, run around 2 screens here.
Yeah.
Try to bump your man, exhaust your energy, plant your feet, and shoot off a movement with some fade. You know what I mean? And so they might put in a little bit of that in terms of just like that Grady Dick package, basically, for Jamison Battle to try out. And I think defensively, too. If you can really like just be a neutral defender rather than being below average, I think it's going to be good. But again, Summer League is a hard time to sort of judge a shooter like this. I just think that Jamison is a pretty steady guy just in general. So that's kind of like what we expect to see from the Raptors in terms of the Summer League roster. Obviously, there's other guys, too. I'm open to the idea that other guys might impress us. That Clifford Omarui guy, is he related? Is he related to Eugene?
No.
Okay, this is.
But he's good.
Okay.
Omarui, Alabama. I watched him a lot because they had another Canadian guy, Aiden Holloway, play over there. He's like he's probably one of the best. Like this past year, one of the best rim protectors in college basketball. Like when I tell you, whoever came up with a summer league team for the Raptors, they cooked. I'll give them. Shout out to, if it was Dan, then Dan, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna tell you, you cooked. But because like this team, Clifford Omarui, I think like I would say like I'm
interesting. Okay.
I think he might have a sneaky chance if the Raptors like need a big. Like I think I'd love to see him in the 905, but I could see him maybe like getting a last roster spot for the Raptors, man. Maybe getting a two-way. So
because we need bigs, you know.
Yeah, and he's a good shot blocker. Like man, I'm telling you, like I like Clifford Omarui a lot. So I think he's a sneaky guy for the Raptors.
Yeah, man. You know the Rap front office is low key kind of deep too. We don't really talk about Chad. We don't really talk about Luke, but some of these guys, man,
they got a name drop. Who else is there?
Relax, man. The rest of them don't get name drops like this until I see you guys at the NBA party later on. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna bring a quick message, and then lastly, we're gonna come back and tell you one must-watch team that's not the Toronto Raptors in Summer League. What's going on, everybody? The Hello and Welcome crew is officially headed to Las Vegas Summer League this week. What this means for the show is as follows. Officially, on the record, we're really excited to bring you the latest in the next generation of the Toronto Raptors and also other young NBA stars from across the league. But of course, unofficially, this being Vegas and all, we are really looking forward to crashing a few exclusive NBA parties, rubbing shoulders with some of your favorite media personalities, and of course, catching up with all our dear friends from across the league. And when it comes time to be reaching for a beverage, you know we'll be asking for a Simply Spiked for us and the whole crew. And here's the thing. The fine folks at Simply Spiked have been really kind to send us cases to try of their new beverages. And let me tell you from firsthand experience, these are very crushable drinks. The limeade flavor is a very refreshing take on the original. The blackberry flavor has a nice tart twist. And of course, the cherry one, you already know that's the bomb. At 5% alcohol and made with real fruit juices, they're perfect to bring to any summertime outing, whether that's rubbing shoulders with NBA people or just having a nice little picnic in the park. Pick up Simply Spiked at your local store, try some for yourself, and we'll catch you when we're back in Toronto. All right, here we go, baby. Last thing, one must-watch NBA Summer League team that's not the Toronto Raptors. And you know what's funny? Because, like, I told Libaan, like, yo, just pick one team, you know what I mean? Like, you know, let's just see. And we both picked the same team. And the team that we have picked is the Washington Wizards. Summer League roster. I'm going to quickly read it out. I'm going to get you to explain why you're excited for this, okay? So, the start of the list, we got A.J. Johnson, Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson III, Leaky Black, Keyshawn George, Kadari Richmond, Alex Sarr, Will Riley, Jameer Watkins, Liam Robbins, which, fun fact, he's actually related to Matt Devlin, which is kind of incredible. He's like one of his, I think his nephews or something like that. There's like an actual blood family relation with Liam Robbins. Dylan Jones, Zeke Mayo, Uh, Akolda Gak, Keyshawn Gilbert, and then Jonathan Pierre. Libaan, give me your reason why you're excited, and don't just tell me because they had 2 Canadians.
I'll be honest, they got 2 Canadians.
God,
Will Riley, Keyshawn George, man. Keyshawn George might be soon for the FIBA America Cup. We'll see this summer.
Scoop.
So we'll see if that happens. But I think it will. But Will Riley obviously just got drafted. I was out there in New York covering him, and just a moment of him.
Yo, these are the last 2 guys you went to the draft.
Exactly.
This is why, man.
I'm excited.
Come on.
I'm gonna try to find their family and watch the game with them.
Yeah.
So Trey Johnson, you know me, I'm a big Trey Johnson guy.
Oh yeah,
so.
you and I were both big on Trey Johnson in the draft process, man.
Yeah.
We like this guy.
So I even told the Raptors people, like, I'm like a year before, I'm like, get me Trey Johnson. They ended up then having a pick near him. So but like, I'll be honest, this Washington Wizards team could have been the roster last year. Like, that's why I'm like, this is a good team. This is an NBA team, you know, like this is their NBA team last year.
Let's chill.
Like,
let's chill.
8 of these guys are rotation guys last year. Like it's AJ Johnson, Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Keyshawn George, Alex Sarr, Will Riley, Jameer Watkins. I think was a really good pick for them. Dylan Jones didn't really cost much for them. I think.
Yeah, it was like a free OKC dump. Yeah.
Yeah, Liam Robbins, you mentioned Milwaukee last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun team, man. I think it's gonna be. I see Bub Carrington and Trey Johnson have become like fast friends. I've seen some clips of them going kind of viral.
Bro, you watching Washington Wizards
I'm watching
clips to see who's friends with who? You're sick.
I'm watching it, man. I'm watching
You're absolutely sick, bro.
I'm watching it, and I'm excited just to see the connection with Keyshawn George, Will Riley, the Swiss Montreal, and the Kitchener Waterloo connection, man. Come on, hey.
Man, what connection is there between Montreal and Kitchener Waterloo?
Hey,
man?
just across the border, man. We just just a fire. How Montreal? Where's the Libaan key? We're 5-hour drive from here, man. Come on, man. So this is a fun team. This is a really fun team, and just a lot of bucket getters and a lot of antics. I think with this team.
Yeah, honestly, the reason I'm excited for this team too, like obviously, like people are going to be watching like Cooper, people are going to be watching Dylan Harper with San Antonio, people are going to be watching Hanson Yang. Honestly, I'm telling you, Hanson Yang is going to be the second biggest sellout. Name. It's going to be Cooper and then Hanson Yang, and honestly, Hanson Yang with just the power of China alone, like the amount of Chinese people who have reached out, being like, "Yo, I'm going to be in summer league because of Hanson." Like,
and I told you he had like
amazing, bro.
He had the most media availability, I think, at the combine. Even at the draft when I saw him. Bro he had like a posse, like 20 people right behind him rolling up. I couldn't believe what I saw. And then he looked at me like, he just smiled. Like, I was like, damn. Like, I was just like walking. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, my fault for swearing. But I seen him. I was like, I seen him walking by. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this guy has a crew. So Hanson Yang,
bro, this guy got more Chinese guys in his crew than me, man. This guy got the hello and welcome pot going. But obviously, those are things that you guys would know to watch those teams. But I think the Washington team actually is going to be really interesting. I know Alex has already adopted Washington as like his like fun team of the year. He'll probably bail on that after a month, to be honest.
I agree with him. They're a playoff team.
No, relax. Oh my God, bro.
I'm just biased.
Yo, are you just saying this because Will Riley's parents are listening?
They might be. They might be.
George's dad's listening, bro.
They might be. Hey, the Canadians.
Bro, I don't want to. You're doing this for Dion George. What was his name?
Dion George, yeah, legend, man.
For Dion George, bro.
Canadian basketball legend, man.
Get out of here, man. No, I'm actually just genuinely excited. Like, I think there's like some like deep cuts. Like, the Washington Wizards will be a bit of a deep cut type of team. So, I mean, I don't even think the Raps are playing them, but if I got a chance to, I probably will sit down in summer league. But again, for people who've never been to summer league, like, I know obviously there's definitely a cost associated with like flying down to Vegas and like booking a hotel room and then getting access. Although, to be honest, it's pretty cheap to just get regular tickets. You don't even need access, just buy a ticket. But if you can get a chance, and if you're a real like NBA, if you have any aspirations of being like a media, or you want to work in the NBA, you want to be a scout, whatever you want to do, or even if you just love ball, like it's pretty much the best bang for your ticket. Like, you know, like All-Star should be what Summer League is, which is everybody gets down there, everyone gets a chance to connect, and man, I'm so happy to hear that you're going. I'm so happy to, you know, even just be on the same flight together, talking about, you know, Keyshawn George as Alex puts on headphones and goes to sleep. Yeah. But like, I'm just excited to be down there with you, man. You got to watch all the haram happen from afar. You know,
I'm not involved.
You know what I mean?
I plead the fifth.
We might have to. We're gonna have to have
for the law.
We're gonna have to see you the hairline battle between you and Alex Swan.
Yo, I just got a new cut. You can't tell me this not fresh. Come on.
It's fresh, bro. It's fresh, bro.
Yeah, but the Alex video, that was insane. His shit was over here.
Yo,
he's over here. Now I don't know what he did. Did he go to Turkey? I don't know if he got like a new lineup. Like, hey, I heard they paid over there, so I got to tap into Alex's connect. So
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna let Alex speak for himself. I'm not even gonna defend him right here. Okay, I'm not gonna defend him nothing. But you know what? You guys can sort that out. If people don't know already, Libaan Osman does fantastic work at the Toronto Star. And that's always like where people are gonna read you and see all your features. And by the way, your feature this year was really, really good. Getting a chance to travel with Will Riley, but also your coverage of the U19 tournament, bro. Like getting to know about, bro. My favorite thing that I read in a story this year by anybody is the fact that you got the detail that Hakeem Olajuwon used to obviously go pray, and then afterwards, this guy will go across the street to Hamdi's and have, bro, as somebody who is from like the west side of the city, who's been with my like, you know, Muslim friends to go to Hamdi's, like it is Rexdale and Islington, like it's an iconic spot. And to know that Hakeem goes there, yo,
and
that was incredible, man.
The craziest thing too was like I'm on the phone with him. He's just name dropping Moss. He's like, and then the coolest thing too, I feel like for the story was like I don't care about like clicks or whatever when it comes to stories. It's just like I honestly, especially when I intentionally included stuff about like how impactful his he had on the Muslim community in Toronto. And the amount of people that responded, like sending me pictures of like them praying with Hakeem and like Hakeem being involved in the community, that kind of stuff. I'm real, like, man. So then I sent it to his people and I'm like, man, so Hakeem is like he's a legend, man. It was just so fun to chat. I'm so shocked that I got to chat with him on the phone. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Bro, you chatting on the phone with Hakeem is incredible. Man.
I'm about to see him too soon at I'm going to Nike EYBL afterwards, and his son's gonna play there. So he's gonna be there, so I'll tap in with him. So his sons are really good because I actually saw them a little bit. Obviously, I watched the U19 Canada versus USA game. Itchy the Bansa, the 28 whatever free throws he took, man. Yeah,
I want to hear nothing about complaining about Shea anymore. Team USA
Canada should have won, man. 47 is insane. Canada should have won that game.
But I mean, I was watching the Suns, and I'm like, they don't play anything like Hakeem, bro.
No,
they're more like Will Riley than they're like Hakeem.
Yeah, and that's what Hakeem was saying. Like, it's no pressure too, because like my son's a 6'7" guard, and like he's not a post up guy. Like he attacks closeout. He shoots the 3-ball really well. Like he's picking up offers. Like UConn's talking to him. A lot of high major schools. I think like after this Peach Jam session and at next 2 weeks, like he might end up with like 15 plus offers from school. So
and these guys, and the incredible thing is Hakeem. I know his legacy in Toronto is like basically, you know, those washed up memes of Hakeem posting up against Patrick Ewing. Hakeem's in a Raptor jersey. You know, Patrick Ewing's wearing the Orlando Magic pinstripes. But the funniest thing with watching this is just like, you can spend a short amount of time in the basketball sense, but in terms of the community impact, that was around the time the 9/11 happened as well. It was a very, very difficult time. I don't need to tell you this, but it was a very incredibly difficult time for Muslim people. And I think that the support and the strength that Hakeem provided for this community, it's the same thing. Because I remember we talked to Miriam Fader earlier this year, right? And we interviewed her, and she wrote the book on Hakeem. And she talked about that chapter where, you know, Hakeem has spent in Toronto. And you know, once that story was shared, like I had my Muslim friends, like, you know, like Assad, like Sahal, they were telling me direct stories about their uncles like praying with Hakeem, and I'm like, that's incredible. And of course, during those 2 years, he met somebody. I don't want to bite your whole story, but he met somebody in Toronto, you know, and now, you know, now we got Hakeem's son playing for Canada, man. What an incredible situation. And
it's
two of them.
Malik, I think they're expecting him to play FIBA U18 next summer, so that's a big thing. But yeah, just like you said, like I think it's a full circle. It was like a lot of myths of like all these Abels, these like Somali parents that and like they all claimed they prayed with Hakeem, but now it's real. Like he validated the story. And the thing that Canada basketball general manager said to me, I think was so cool, was like, now that Hakeem's legacy is going to be like his kids playing for Canada basketball. Like that's going to be his legacy in Toronto, along with all the stuff he's done in the community.
Right. And again, like, you know, I'm not trying to overstep or anything, but I understand one of the core tenets of Islam is you got to reject idolatry. You know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to be the big name. You're not trying to bring attention to yourself and sort of have everyone sing your praises. But I think that's why you have important journalism like this, to not just like get the cool soundbite of, oh, Hakeem has 2 sons and they're playing in Canada, but to get these little details, man. Again, like I literally like could not stop like laughing, and I started sharing that story with everybody once I saw that part about him going to Hamdi, man. This guy's ordering the banana with the spaghetti, bro.
You know what he told me too? He was like, he was telling me like, you know what? Like, I haven't been in a while. He wants to travel. He wants to go out to Muskoka for a vacation. He's like, I need to come back there.
Okay.
He was also saying like, I want to go back to Humvee, but they don't give me the banana with the rice, man. I was like, say no more. I'm gonna give you a spot downtown. It's called One Egg. If you know what Somali people listen to the show, it's One Egg. It's in the Regent Park area. Shooter,
Yo, let's
go check
together,
it out.
bro. Why are you always taking us to Bellisimo's, man?
Hey.
Let's go to some real cultural places, man.
We'll tap in, man. One Egg is a new spot. Hakeem was like begging me. He's like, yo, text me this new spot. I don't want to go to Humvee no more.
Texting Hakeem.
he's like, ask me, tell me the new spot. I'm like, oh my god. I'm texting Hakeem right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting food recommendations from Bobby Webster. I thought that was a big deal. You getting food recommendations to Hakeem is crazy.
Hey,
but
now you can't make fun of my diet no more, man. I'm certified.
I'll make fun of. Well, you know what? Culturally, I can't do that. But in person, I might make a couple of jokes about bananas and spaghetti. But seriously, the Canadian basketball show as well, man. You have. I mean, you always had the ability, but to see you execute week after week, get all these incredible Canada basketball people. To be honest, I'm not even that curious about Canada basketball, but I still listen to every episode of the pod because, like,
damn,
you
don't care about Canada basketball?
No, I don't care about it like to that degree of like
yeah.
I need to know everybody's story, but you make me care about it when I listen to these guys, man, and that's the biggest compliment that I can give you. So, Libaan, Osman, I'll see you tomorrow at the airport. All right, don't be late for the flight. Are you an early flight? Actually, no, we'll talk about this later.
I might be late to the flight. Honestly, we'll see.
Bro, what are you
I work
doing,
pretty late.
Man? Or
We'll
are
see,
you
man.
are you one of those cut it close guys at the flight?
I will be rushing to the flight, man. I'm gonna tell you, hold the gate for me. Hold the gate for me.
Oh man, how about we just all agree to be there at 6 p.m.? Like,
I can't.
Bro, we'll just chill together. Just pull up and hang out with me, Jerome, and Alex, man.
I'm gonna try my best, but from downtown, I'm gonna take the
Up Express, bro.
I'm gonna take the Up Express. Try to get there for. We'll see,
guaranteed.
Man. We'll see,
guaranteed.
man. It's a lot of packing. Though. I got to do a lot of packing tonight.
Yeah, me too. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening. I'm really excited for Summer League. I'm hoping you guys as well. We'll have all the post-game shows from every game. We'll have some exclusive interviews. We'll bring you to the introductory press conference. Honestly, probably shoot some of the scrums too. So wall-to-wall coverage of Summer League from Hello and Welcome. But for everyone listening, this has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway, and we'll catch you on Friday after the game.